The following story is a first-hand account of my time working for the SCP Foundation. Due to the sensitive nature of the events that transpired, all names and locations have been omitted or changed for privacy reasons. I had always been fascinated by the paranormal and the unexplained, so when I received a mysterious job offer from a clandestine organization known as the SCP Foundation, I jumped at the opportunity. The Foundation was notorious for its top-secret containment and study of anomalous objects and entities that posed a threat to humanity. Little did I know that my decision to work for them would change my life forever. As a newly recruited site agent, I was assigned to Site 19, one of the Foundation's largest facilities. The strict security protocols and the air of secrecy that surrounded the site were palpable from the moment I stepped foot inside. I was briefed on the various SCP entities that were housed at the facility, each one more bizarre and dangerous than the last. One of my first assignments involved the containment and study of SCP-087, a seemingly endless staircase that led to an unknown depth. As I descended into the darkness, my heart pounded with trepidation. The air grew colder, and the oppressive silence weighed heavily on my senses. My flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows that seemed to move on their own. I couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched, and my nerves were on edge. As I reached the lower levels of SCP-087, I encountered SCP-087-1. A shadowy figure that appeared to be human-like but exhibited abnormal behavior. It stared at me with hollow eyes, and I could sense its malevolence. I quickly retreated, my heart racing, and reported my findings to my superiors. As days turned into weeks, my work at Site 19 became more intense. I was exposed to various SCP entities, each one posing its own unique challenges. From SCP-096, a humanoid creature that would become enraged and relentlessly pursue anyone who saw its face, to SCP-173, a seemingly harmless statue that would move and attack when not in direct line of sight, I witnessed the inexplicable and the horrific on a daily basis. But the most haunting experiences were not just with the SCP entities, but also with the personnel at Site 19. The constant air of paranoia, the fear of containment breaches, and the burden of keeping the world safe from these anomalies took a toll on everyone. I could see the exhaustion, the fear, and the emotional toll that the job had on my colleagues. Some became withdrawn, while others displayed erratic behavior. It was a constant struggle to maintain our sanity in the face of the unknown. One fateful day, disaster struck. During a routine containment procedure for SCP-682, a highly dangerous and nearly indestructible reptilian creature, a catastrophic breach occurred. The creature broke free from its containment chamber, and chaos erupted throughout the facility. The alarms blared, and the emergency response teams were deployed. I could hear the screams and cries for help echoing through the halls as we scrambled to contain the situation. I was tasked with leading a team to recontain SCP-682, but the creature was relentless in its rampage. It tore through the facility, causing destruction and havoc in its wake. The situation escalated rapidly, and my team and I found ourselves in a desperate battle to contain the creature and prevent further casualties. As we engaged in a fierce battle with SCP-682, I witnessed the immense destructive power of the creature. It shrugged off bullets, shrugged off explosives, and seemed almost invulnerable to any conventional means of containment. The panic among my team grew, and the emotional toll of the situation weighed heavily on me. Fear, adrenaline, and sheer determination surged through me as we fought tooth and nail to bring SCP-682 under control. But our efforts seemed futile. SCP-682's regenerative abilities were beyond comprehension. It seemed to adapt and evolve with each attack, becoming even more resilient and formidable. My team was quickly overwhelmed, and we were forced to retreat, leaving a trail of destruction in our wake. I frantically radioed for backup, but the chaos of the situation made communication difficult. The facility was in shambles, and SCP-682 continued its rampage, breaching containment chambers and releasing other SCP entities in the process. It was an all-out nightmare, and I felt a sense of hopelessness creeping over me. As I made my way through the dark and chaotic corridors, I encountered several other SCP entities that had broken free from their containment. SCP-173 darted through the halls, snapping the necks of anyone caught off guard. SCP-096 wails echoed through the facility as it hunted down those who had seen its face. The situation was a living nightmare, and my emotions were a tangled mess of fear, anger, and desperation. I finally reached the central command room, where the situation was being monitored. The scenes on the screens were nightmarish breached containment chambers, injured personnel, and SCP entities wreaking havoc throughout the facility. The situation was spiraling out of control, and I realized that containment breach was no longer an option. With a heavy heart, I made the difficult decision to activate the site's self-destruct protocol. The countdown timer ticked down ominously as I scrambled to evacuate personnel and contain the remaining SCP entities. It was a race against time as the facility crumbled around us. As the self-destruct countdown reached its final seconds, I made a desperate attempt to reach the exit. The alarms blared, the lights flickered, and the facility shook violently. SCP-682 was still on the loose, tearing through everything in its path. My heart pounded in my chest as I sprinted through the collapsing corridors, narrowly avoiding debris and dodging SCP entities along the way. Just as I reached the surface, the facility exploded in a catastrophic blast, consuming everything in its wake. The shockwave knocked me off my feet, and I was engulfed in a maelstrom of fire and destruction. The last thing I remembered was the deafening roar of the explosion before everything went dark. When I woke up, I was lying in a hospital bed, surrounded by concerned faces of fellow Foundation personnel. Miraculously, I had survived the explosion, but the memories of that night still haunted me. Site-19 was lost, along with many of my colleagues and the contained SCP entities. The aftermath of the incident left a lasting impact on me, mentally and emotionally. To this day, I am haunted by the horrors I witnessed at the SCP Foundation. The unexplained phenomena, the constant fear of containment breaches, and the toll it took on my mental and emotional well-being are scars that will never fade. The SCP Foundation remains shrouded in mystery, and I can only hope that the secrets contained within its walls never fall into the wrong hands.